to my channel. If you're new, I hope you'll stick around to see our homeschool journey. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the books that I read to my kids this week, which is December the 14th through the 18th. These are just some of the books that we read during school. Some of them I actually had to read through YouTube, so I'll just mention those, but I wanted to just give you a quick rundown of books I did read with my boys. We love reading our season and our Christmas books. I did do a video and got it uploaded yesterday of all the books that we have read in December or are going to read in December. So if you want to check out my December Read Alouds, I will leave it linked down below, and I can put a card up here. But for now, let's just go over the books I read this week to my boys. The first one I want to show you is called The Polar Bear Who Saved Christmas. Now, this was part of a set of books that I bought, so I can't link it because I can't find it anywhere. I don't even know where I bought this. I bought it from a company, but it was a super cute little book about this little polar bear, and he's so excited for Christmas, and he decides to take on a little walk to look for Santa, and he stumbles upon this village where the reindeer and the elves are, and one of the reindeers is hurt, and they're not going to be able to deliver the toys. And then they ask the polar bear if he'd be willing to help, and he says sure, he'll help. And then at the end of the book, he wakes up and he's not even sure if it really even happened until he gets this little bell and a letter that says, "Thank you so much, Polar Bear, for saving Christmas." So my boys really liked it. I like these little books because they're really cute stories. The pictures are really cute, so we really like these. This was a really cute one that I read. The next one I'm going to show you is went with our Rooted in Reading curriculum. So if you missed that video, I can leave it linked down below too, and I can put a card up here. But every week we do a Rooted in Reading curriculum, and the books are really themed very well for the holidays and the events that are going on in real life, which I absolutely love that about them. So for this week, the book was The Legend of the Poinsettia, which I know I have. I know I have The Legend of Poinsettia, but I could not find it. So in the library, it was checked out, so I couldn't get it. So we listened to The Legend of the Poinsettia actually on YouTube, in a YouTube read aloud, which I love the YouTube read alouds. They're amazing. But part of our curriculum, we also read Too Many Tamales, which is really cute, especially since we learned that they eat tamales a lot at Christmas time. It's one of the traditions that they do on the Las Posadas. So I was really happy to get this book and read it with my boys. We did read the Las Posadas, which actually came with the curriculum, Rooted in Reading, and I'll leave that curriculum link down below. But she creates all these little nonfiction readers, and they are so good. We love the nonfiction readers. So we read this one to go along with our curriculum, and we also read Las Posadas on YouTube because I didn't have that book either. The next set of books I'm going to show you are actually part of our Holidays Around the World curriculum. So we do a different country either every day or every 2 days, and we read books with them, and I'm going to just go through and show you some of the books that we read this week with that curriculum. We studied Israel, and if you didn't catch my YouTube video on that, I can also leave a link up here and down below for the Holidays Around the World for this week. But we did study Israel, and one of the books I read with them was Hoppy, Hanukkah. This was a Scholastic book, and I actually got it at a Scholastic sale. But it's a cute little book where the rabbits are having Hanukkah, and they talk about all the different little things that they have in Hanukkah. They talk about the menorah. They talk about how Grandma's making latkes, which we did make these as well this week. They talk about playing the dreidel. They talk about the gelt. They talk about lighting the candles. So it was a really good book that really goes into detail some of the different traditions that they actually have in Israel and with Hanukkah. So I was really happy with this book. And it was done in a really cute, kid-friendly way. Another book that we read was Christmas Around the World, and we just read parts of this because it actually does a lot of different countries, and I only wanted to focus on the countries we focused on this week. So we read Mexico. I wish there wasn't a glare. We read Mexico, we read Sweden, and then I also read Norway just because it's kind of close to Sweden. Another book that we read this week, and we just read parts of this one as well, was the Hanukkah. We celebrate Hanukkah. And I just kind of did bits and pieces from here because it was a lot. Like I read this little poem with them. We read kind of the origin and the history of Hanukkah. We read about the different celebrations. We read about this little poem right here, See Them Glow, about the little candles. We read the Festival of Lights page. And then we talked about all the different Hanukkah words that was mentioned. I want to say that's all I did in this book. Oh, and it did have the recipe for the latkes in it. It had some other recipes in it too. And we also read for Hanukkah, we read Daddy's Christmas, Mama's Hanukkah Mama. This was so cute. So, in the story, there's a little kid, and the dad celebrates Christmas, and the mom celebrates Hanukkah. So, they kind of talk about the different things between the two. And they also talk about how kind of like this family meshed it together for their traditions. So they took the traditions from the two different holidays and mixed it together. So I really liked this book. It was a really good book. The kids really enjoyed it. So I really do recommend this book, The Daddy's Christmas and Hanukkah Mama. It's really good. We also read for Hanukkah in Israel, we read Runaway Dreidel, which this is a cute little book. I had read this to them before though. But it's a cute little book that goes through that. So we read a lot of books for Israel this week. They're looking for the runaway dreidel. It goes up in the sky, and then at the end it ends up being a star. We also studied this week Mexico, which worked out beautiful for two reasons. One, Mexico starts their holiday on December 16th, and December 16th happened to fall into this week, which worked out beautiful for us. And also because in Rooted in Reading, we were doing The Legend of Poinsettia, and that was the book they recommended for the country as well for Mexico. So we did The Legend of Poinsettia again with our holidays around the world, and we did the Las Posadas again for the holidays around the world. But I did those through YouTube because I didn't have the books. We also did England this week, and we did Father Christmas. And I'll tell you, I'm not really a fan of this book. I always like to give you like my honest opinion about the books, and I love books, and most books I do love, but this one I just wasn't a fan of. And the reason I wasn't a fan of it was, one, I'm not a big fan of comic book strips. Now, I know they're super popular. My boys love them. Just me personally, they're not my favorite. Also, I didn't really like this one because Santa was grumpy. Everybody knows Santa is jolly old Santa, but no, not here. Santa's grumpy. He's like, bloomin' snow, I hate winter, blow the snow, brr. And he just complains the entire book. I mean, he complains about everything. He complains about the cold. He's talking about how he wants summer. He's complaining about working. So, I mean, I don't feel like that's, I don't know, I felt like it was a little weird. And even my boy said, Santa's supposed to be happy, Mama. And I was like, yeah, well, he wasn't happy in this book. So, I don't know. I didn't really like that about this book. I feel like they should have portrayed Santa as happy, especially since it was a kid book. I don't know. That kind of just, I don't know, didn't sit right with me, right? It just wasn't the norm. So, it wasn't my favorite book. I also, we did Sweden this week, and they do The Tomten, and we read that book, but we had to read it through YouTube because I didn't have that book either, and the library didn't have it in. But what I did was, back in November, I put all the books on hold for holidays around the world. And what is happening is she's got to get them from all over the state, which is what I love about our library. I can get a book from anywhere in the state. Just takes a little while to get here. So she has all these books, and they're coming in late. So as they come in, I'm actually reading them with my boys. So this week, The Legend of the Old Befana came in. So we actually studied Italy last week, but since it came in this week, I decided I would read this to my boys this week. And it's just a really cute story. We have not read The Legend of the Old Befana. I recommend it. And I will tell you, Tommy Di Paulo. I love him as an author. I have about 8 of his books in the other room in my library, but we love him. I love his books. He has such good books that I try to get any of them that I can. Anytime I see them on sale or at any type of sale, I'm always picking up his books because I love them so much. And that is all the books that I read this week to my boys. I feel like it wasn't that many, but it is a nice little stack here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more homeschool videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys.